friends, it's Odie here. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. I hope you're all doing well. So today I am really excited because I am filming an eyeshadow palette dedicated video, which I haven't done in a while. I'm also very excited to be putting some makeup on my face because I also haven't done that in a while. I just finished getting over a really bad flu for the 50 billionth time this year. I really hope that's it for us being sick this year. I hope we are all caught up on all the flus and colds that we missed out on when we were in quarantine, because I am so sick and tired of being sick and tired. So our immune systems better get their blanks together because I don't want to do this anymore. Okay. But yeah, have you guys been sick a lot this year? Like a lot, like every other week a lot? I don't know, maybe I need to make an appointment with our doctor, but anyways, that's enough of my rant. Let's get into the eyeshadow palette. So I'm going to be playing with a Colourpop palette. This was a collaboration they did with the Disney Designer Collection. And the palette is called It's a Princess Thing. So this is what it looks like. This is not a new palette. It's been out for years now, but it's still available on the Colourpop website, and I haven't used it on camera, so I'm going to use it now and review it because I can do that. So yeah, the palette itself, the packaging is very pretty, very cute. We have the Disney princesses looking all types of glam in their designer outfits. Let me just give you a close-up here so you can really see how beautiful the packaging is. And on the back, we just have the name of the palette as well as the name of the eyeshadows. The eyeshadows are also labeled on the inside. And then the inside of the palette looks like this. So I love this detail right here where we have the Disney princesses signatures. That's really hard to say. And the color story of the shadows is very neutral. And to be honest, when this palette came out, even though I thought the packaging was very cute, the color story just didn't really grab my attention. The photos and videos I saw of this palette, the palette always looked very light and kind of washed out. So I just didn't think I could get a lot of variety or depth from this. However, I did end up buying this. It was bundled with the Disney Villains palette. And at the time, Colourpop was having a sale. So I talked myself into buying the bundle because in my head, it made sense to have the Disney villains with the Disney princesses. So anyways, I will say that in person, this palette was a lot prettier, and hopefully today I can convey to you guys how much depth you can get with this palette, as well as a variety of eye looks. So I'm gonna do something a little bit more dramatic, more smoky, dark, so you can hopefully see that you can go pretty dark with this. So I've already primed my eyes. I used my Milani eyeshadow primer, and I just put this on the top part of my eye because I like to use a different primer for my lid. I'm going to start off with a blending brush. This is the NYX number 16, and this is what it looks like. And I'm going to start with Triton, which is right here. This is I think this is kind of like a satin matte, so there's a little bit of shimmer in there, but not a lot. Okay, so I'm just dipping in and then tapping off the excess, and I'm going to be placing this above my natural crease, almost touching my brow bone, and then I'm going to also try and wing it out as I go. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. That shadow worked really nice, easy to blend. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm dealing with some eye irritation that I caused myself. So I have some spots on my eye where, you know, it's kind of really dry and a little bit patchy. Like down there, I don't know if you can see, but again, that's just because I have a little bit of irritation going on. Hopefully I didn't do any permanent damage and this will resolve itself. But yeah, I think that is good. I'm gonna leave it I'm gonna leave it there and we're gonna move on. Now I'm gonna take a BH Cosmetics brush. I believe this is a blending brush. It's just a little bit smaller and also more dense. And I'm gonna be dipping into Beast, which is a sequined matte. Now, I don't really mind sequined matte eyeshadows. To be honest, a lot of the time, the sequin mattes don't really translate to my eye. Once I start blending it out, the shimmer just kind of blends away and I'm just left with a matte eyeshadow, which is a little bit sad because they always look so beautiful in the pan. So it's too bad that they don't really translate on my eyes. But anyways, I'm going to be placing this again above my natural crease, but I don't want to take it too far up because I don't want to cover Triton, so I kind of want to keep it contained, if that makes sense. And I will also be winging it out. So as you can see, there's like barely any shimmer in there. Like I said, it blends away. I'm just gonna go back in with the NYX that I used to pick up Triton, and I'm just gonna kind of try and blend it together a little bit better. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Moving on. Now I am taking a Makeup Geek. Now I'm taking a Makeup Geek brush. This is an outer V brush. And I'm gonna take Midnight Curfew, which is the second sequin matte in the palette. And I'm gonna be placing this in my natural crease, and I'm also going to bring it down into my lower lash line. So this shadow is really good for deepening up eyeshadow looks. It's not a black, it's more of like a deep charcoal gray. And now I'm gonna just bring it down into my lower lash line. Okay, now I'm gonna go back in with the BH Cosmetics, the one I used to pick up Beast, but I'm not gonna grab any more eyeshadow. I'm just gonna use whatever's left to blend out Midnight Curfew a little bit. Now I'm taking another Makeup Geek brush. This one is labeled as a defined crease brush, and I'm gonna go back into Beast, pick up a little bit, and I'm gonna use that to blend out Midnight Curfew a little bit better. So I like to bring out the shadow pretty far down on my lower eyelid. It just kind of helps conceal, hide my fine lines. And this is actually a trick I learned from, oh my gosh, what is her name? What is her name? Melissa? Oh my gosh. I watch her all the time. I love her channel. She's really, really sweet. And I cannot remember her name. I'm drawing a blank, but I will have her channel name on the screen somewhere. And I think I'll also link her channel in the description box. But yeah, she does this trick and it works. And it doesn't look bad. At least I don't think it looks bad. You just get a more smoky eye look, and I like smoky eye looks. Okay, so that is good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyelid, and to do that I'm gonna use my Annabelle eye primer. It comes in a little pot, and I like to use a tacky base on my eyelid because I feel like it just helps grip the shadow a little bit better, and it also helps the shadow just pop more, especially like the shimmers and metallics. So I'm just warming it up on my hand, and I'm gonna go ahead and place it all over my lid. Okay, so now that that's on, I'm gonna go back in with the Makeup Geek brush that I used to pick up Midnight Curfew. I'm gonna grab some more, and I'm gonna put this on my outer corner right here. I think that looks good. Let me just blend it towards my inner corner a little bit better. And there. So I think that looks good. It's okay if it's a little messy down here. I can always clean that up with a little bit of concealer, but I think that is good. Okay, let me stop, put the brush down. Okay, now we're gonna move into the center of my eyelid. I'm taking my Glam Light brush. I believe this is a packing brush. It is just like a flat, dense brush. And I'm gonna pick up Poison Apple. So this is Poison Apple. It's like the one pop of color in this palette. I'm going in with a dry brush. I don't have anything to wet my brush with, so we're just gonna do it dry. And I'm just pressing it into place. This shadow is a little bit disappointing to me. It's more of like a satin finish. So it's not a metallic, it's not a shimmer, it's not a matte. It's just like a little bit of an in-between. I'm just gonna go in a little bit with my finger and just press it in a little bit more. So hopefully it has a little bit more of an impact, or is a little bit, so hopefully it gives it more of a pop is what I'm trying to say. Like that. So it has pigment. I wish that it was like a true shimmer or a true metallic, but that's just my own personal preference. I think I'm gonna take that same Glam Light brush and I'm just gonna clean it off. And I'm gonna dip into Magic Carpet. And I'm gonna use that to blend Poison Apple and Midnight Curfew a little bit better, so it's not such a harsh line over here. And then I'm going back in with the brush that I used to pick up Midnight Curfew and just blending it a little bit more. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now I'm moving on to my inner corner. I'm gonna take this flat BH Cosmetics brush. It's a little bit smaller than the Glam Light, and it's also a lot flatter. And I'm gonna go in with Thingamabob. Since I'm wearing a lot of gray and silver, I think that will look nice. It'll kind of tie in my whole look, I'm hoping. So picking that up, and I'm gonna be placing that in my inner corner here. And this is a really nice silver metallic. So nice and reflective. Okay, I think that looks nice. I'm gonna take that same silver and I'm gonna put that on my lower inner corner. that's good enough. Oh, I got a little bit in my eye, but that looks good. Now, I think all that's left to do is highlight. So, to highlight, I'm taking this really small smudging brush. This is from the drugstore. And I'm gonna go in with Prince Charming. This shadow right here, which for me, this is the perfect highlighting shadow. It's a very pretty shimmer and it's really light. So I'm gonna take some of that onto the brush and I'm gonna put that in my inner corner right here. Very nice. I love a good highlighting eyeshadow. Perfect. And I'm going to use that same shadow to highlight my brow bone, but I think I'm going to use a sponge tip applicator to do that. So taking Prince Charming again on a sponge tip applicator, can't talk, applicator, and I'm going to place that, oh, grabbed a little too much, yeah, on my brow bone. Let me just blend that out. Very pretty. I'm just going to, where's that brush? Where's my NYX brush? Where did I put it? NYX? Where did you go? Oh, there you are. So I'm gonna take that NYX brush, the one I used to put on Triton, and I'm just gonna blend Triton a little bit more into that highlight shade because I put on too much. So let's just take that down a little bit. In person, it looks nicely blended, but I feel like on camera, it always looks like is not that blended, but it really looks nice in person. I'm not lying. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that looks as good on camera as it looks in person. So yeah, that is it for the eyeshadow look. Let me do the same thing on this eye, hopefully, and then I will be right back with my final thoughts on the palette. All right, so this is the finished eye look. So as you can see, it's pretty dark, pretty smoky. I feel like I have quite a lot of depth going on in here, so I'm really liking how this turned out. Let me just tell you what I used to finish off my eye look. So in my waterline, I just used a basic black pencil liner. This one right here, I believe this is from Rimmel. It's just so short that I can't see the logo anymore, but I'm pretty sure that's what this is. This is like a black Rimmel liner. Then for my lashes, I used my go-to mascaras. I used the Essence Lash Princess, the green one, and the Maybelline Lash Sensational. I love using these two together. I skipped out on my liquid eyeliner today. I usually always do a liquid winged liner because I don't use fake lashes, so I feel like adding that wing liner just helps give the illusion of a more fuller lash. But you know, in order to try and save time, I skipped it. And what else? Oh, and then I just added a little bit of lip gloss to the lipstick I was already wearing. This is the Lifter Gloss from Maybelline, and it's in the shade Sand 015. Okay, so let's review the palette. Okay, sorry, my 1-year-old ended up waking up from his nap, so he's just in the room playing in the background. So if you hear noise, that's what that is. But let's try to finish reviewing this palette quickly. So I really like this palette. I think this is a really good neutral eyeshadow palette. I'm really happy that I actually ended up picking this up because this has worked really nicely for me. The mattes in here are soft, they're easy to blend, easy to build up. These mattes are not like the mattes that are in the Colourpop Smoke Show palette. The mattes in that palette, they fade a lot throughout the day on my eye. These ones don't. These are really, really nice. The metallics and shimmers in the middle row here, these are also really nice shimmery metallics. The only two eyeshadows in here that are a bit of a disappointment, like I said, the first one is Poison Apple, and that's just because since this is the only pop of color, I just wish it was a true shimmer or a true metallic. Because I don't really care for the satin finish shadows, but that's just personal preference. I've used all the shadows in here except for Chip, this kind of like bone colored matte. I never really use these types of shades, so yeah, those are the only two that for me are a little bit of letdown, but everything else is really nice, and it's a really good palette for traveling because it's just so easy to work with. I don't really have to think much about what kind of eye look to do. You know, I could do something really easy and simple. I forgot to mention this, but I'll insert clips of other eye looks I created using this palette. One that's very soft and natural, you know, like a very barely there type eyeshadow look, and also an in-between, something that's not as dark as this, but that has a little bit more depth, just so you could see that you can get a variety of looks with this palette. So yeah, if you're in the market for a good neutral eyeshadow palette, then this is a good option. Colourpop always has sales going on their website, so if you want to wait and pick this up when they have a sale, I think that's a good idea. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the... Oh, baby, you okay? Yeah, you okay? Good job. Okay, sorry. So those are my final thoughts on this palette. If you guys have this palette, what do you think of it? Do you love it as much as I do? Let me know down in the comments. But yeah, that is it for me, guys. I hope you found this video helpful. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, please take care and bye.